yesterday, 15th witness. Her name is Min Ran Wu. And she used to be a follower of the Whistleblowers Movement. She first heard about Miles on YouTube watching videos back in, I believe, 2018. And
Right.
she was born in China and she came to the US in 2001.
Okay.
Very interesting is because the farm loan agreement was between her and the MOS farm. And a great point is that in the farm loan agreement, because we went through the legal language, I mean, the direct went through it,
Yeah.
and then we came back, the defense went through it as well. So when the direct was asking questions about the farm loan program, they went over the use of proceeds, for example. What are the proceeds in terms of the dollar amount going to be used for? Right.
The dollar amount that's going to use for in the
In the investment.
in the investment, the program.
Yeah, like for example, farm loan agreement into the GTV, for
Oh,
example.
right. Okay.
Yeah, and then to make it very clear, adding on to what Kevin said earlier, that all the wiring of the dollars and the instructions were given to her via Sarah Way.
Yes.
Which is somebody that had a falling out with Mr. Miles, the Whistleblower Movement. So we have to make that distinction, that separation,
Right,
from that person.
So none of the documents she signed or the money she sent, the account of the money she was sent to was directly related to Mr. Miles' school, right? It's
Correct.
all with Sarah Way.
Sarah Way,
Yes. Okay.
the entity set up by Sarah Way.
Yeah, the entity set up by her.
And today we actually made a very, very important discovery for the court. I don't know if it was brought up before today, but it was actually the lawsuit brought up against Sarah Way by the
right.
Moss Farm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was this brought during the testifying this witness? This witness
Yes.
test? Okay.
So it was during the cross of this witness, and
Okay.
there was a lot of difficulty. It seemed to appear that there was a lot of difficulty bringing up this lawsuit and the conclusion of the lawsuit
It seems
due
like-
to
okay.
either government objection or the witness not answering that she recollects anything about it. So that automatically. Basically, it doesn't allow the defense to inquire more about the situation. So it obviously tells the juror that this specific piece of information might be very crucial to understanding the whole picture.
Right.
And I just want to point out the importance of the government really wanting to bring this piece of evidence through is because other than this piece of evidence, I feel like she is a repeat victim witness, just like the ninth witness, Jenny Lee, right?
The VP.
Sorry, was it the ninth witness?
Yes.
Jenny Lee?
Where's the money going? Why is it going here?
Right.
Why is it going there?
Okay.
And it was basically a reiteration of the same victim story of how she invested funds. Funds were seized because of either CCP influence or Sarah Way. Something happened to her funds. She wouldn't disclose the fact that she actually profited from H-Coin.
Okay, so she believes that. Does she believe that the CCP is infiltrating the system, and therefore some of the money are seized,
Right.
and
So
some part is because
She
Sarah
never,
Way.
I don't, to my recollection, and everybody can confirm via the transcript, is that whenever she's always asked, she will always dance around the question.
Okay.
She will always dance around the question. And the judge, again, today had to say, hey, if you're asked what your favorite color is, you would tell what your favorite color is. You don't tell everybody your favorite flower is the rose, right?
that revelation came up today as well. Like,
Again.
is Miles Guo anti-CCP? And she would not admit that Miles Guo was the #1 enemy of the CCP. So do
Yeah.
you guys want to explain, like, there was a specific piece of evidence that was brought up by the
Yes.
cross, like
So it's a
list.
two-part. One is the Operation Fox Hunt that was brought up in
Yes.
court. Our defense lawyer Scott went over what Operation Fox Hunt is, reading over the actual the language of it, and then she went over it, and then Scott asked her, well, after learning right about Operation Fox Hunt, like, do you still believe Mr. Miles is not, or he's not anti-CCP? And she's like, okay. She still doesn't believe that he's anti-CCP. So Scott asked
She
her.
doesn't believe that Mr. Miles was anti-CCP.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And then Scott asked her, well, let me show you something else, right? And the other thing that Scott showed her was the targeting of the CCP in terms of the cyber warfare and everything else, meaning that they had people that were, writing articles. They had a specific quota of what they needed to do every single day, targeting Mr. Miles Guo, the Hong Kong protest movement at the time, and then the COVID-19 pandemic. And then he asked her again, do you now believe that he's anti-CCP? Why would the CCP go after him
Yes. What
this
did she
way,
say?
right? She's like, no, I still don't believe.
Okay.
I believe Scott, he asked the witness if she wanted the interest, and she straight up just said no, and then he brought up the farm loan agreement, right, and talked
Right.
about the interest, and then she was like, okay, so you want, and then he was also like, but you testified to not testified, he told the prosecutor in this specific meeting on this specific day that you were upset because you didn't get the interest. And then he
Right.
switched to a farm loan agreement, and then he was like, so you couldn't get the interest because you terminated the contract before it was
The
due.
maturity date.
Before the maturity date,
Right.
right? So you don't
Yes.
get the interest automatically, right?
Right.
So, but then you testified that you don't want interest, but then another separate meeting you wanted interest. So it's just very inconsistent,
Right.
and I'm sure
Right.
the jurors saw straight through that.
Right.
One highlight each. I
Okay.
wanted to talk about how
Okay.
she claimed that she lost $14,000 in her total investments,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
how we can break that down. So she said that she donated, or not donated, invested $20,000 into the farm loan program,
Right.
and that was only returned 92%, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm,
And that
mhm.
was by the SEC because of the whole Sarah Way, like
Yeah.
the Moss v. Sarah Way lawsuit. She also said that what was it? She invested about 4,500 into H coin,
Yeah.
and that was actually refunded to her.
Yeah.
It was her private placement that was refunded
Yeah.
to her, and she claimed that she didn't have an account, but to give a bit of explanation why she didn't have an account with the Himalaya Exchange was because she was currently residing. She was a U.S. citizen, and at that time, U.S. citizens, Canadian citizens, Japanese citizens, there was a dedicated fund for them to purchase this H coin, right? So that was one part, and her final part was that the fact that she cited that she lost 10,000 to a G Club's membership.
Yeah.
Now that one was very funny because she didn't. That was the only one that wasn't returned back to her, right? But it's because G Clubs, as you all may know, like G Clubs, when you purchase that agreement, it's a membership. It's non-refundable. It's like you're paying the service to already get these benefits, and you're very clearly listed out what benefits you're getting, right? So to give an antidote, right? Like give a metaphor. It's like me saying I want to refund my Amazon Prime subscription from last year because I just feel like I didn't get enough benefits.
Right, and then I believe she's also familiar with G Fashion,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And then did she ever use the benefit of G Fashion?
She says she wasn't fond of the G Fashion pieces.
That's not her style.
Right,
Oh,
but she
okay.
never denied that she had the 10% discount from G
Right.
Fashion,
Oh,
which
she
is
never
very, very
denied that.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
This is direct with the
Right.
government.
Right.
And then we found out from the questioning that she testified she got 44,500 H coin, Himalaya coin. 44,500.
500. Okay.
And then the question was, how, right? How did you get this much? Because your investment is so low.
Yeah.
And how did you get this much, H coin, and allocated to her for her to purchase? And it's very interesting. And even our defense lawyer Scott asked her how, right? Like, what does it pertain to your volunteering? She couldn't even answer that, right? She was dancing around that question of,
Okay.
like, how was she allocated this money? And she finally said that, it seems like, if they like you, they give you more.
Okay. So
Right.
for free.
It's like 44,000 H coin. If you guys go and take a look, even at $10 each coin, that's well worth above what how much she's
Right.
vested.
Right.
Right.
But anyway.